Alright, what's up you guys? Welcome to this fantastic 85-degree weather live stream for SHARKNEWZ. It is officially week 1 of JoJo June, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on right now in the world of G.I. Joe. Well, not really. But how is everybody doing today? Thank you so much for joining and watching tonight's stream. I know there's a lot of other things you can be doing right now, but I appreciate every single minute you guys spend with me here tonight talking about action figures. So tonight's stream is going to be pretty cool because we're going to be talking about Wave 1 reveals. Sorry, not Wave 1, Week 1 reveals. Potential, I guess you can say, HASLAB guesses, and then yeah, another pre-orders that we still have about 3 more weeks of. So let's check the chat real quick and see what's happening here. We have Alan who says got to catch the replay because he works tonight. Thank you so much. I know Alan has been wanting to catch a live stream for a while now, but you know, I understand work is important, so it's all good, brother. I appreciate watching even after you get off work, so that's nice. Mr. Sampson with the popcorn and beverage, hell freaking yeah. Russell Terrell with the freeze emojis, hell yeah. That means, you know, as Mr. Freeze says in the 1997 Batman and Robin movie, a freeze is coming. So it looks like because of the HASLAB we might have snow in July, so that's gonna be fun. Joshua, thank you so much for joining, Joshua, and shout out to Joshua for being a long-time supporter of the channel. And Joshua, man, I loved your comment on the Retro Shark channel from the what movie was that? What movie was that I just did? That John Candy movie. I'm blanking out right now, but that was such a great wholesome comment, man. Thank you so much for that. Robert Wantland with the shark emojis, welcome Robert, great supporter of the channel. John Brooks from Ireland, as always, John, thank you so much for joining all the way from Ireland. It's always great to see you, brother. Derek Holloman says good evening. Robert says good to see you as well. Russell Terrell says shark emoji, what's up? Good to see you, all 3 of you. Don Carlos says thanks for all the links, was able to get all my pre-orders in. I'm very happy for you, man. That makes me happy. Helping anybody out, enjoying collecting figures makes me happy and makes me enjoy what I do. So I'm very happy I was able to help you out, man. You guys are more of a priority than my own collecting needs, so I appreciate that very much. Russell Terrell says everyone in the Sharkland, hell yeah. Wilfredo Diaz, welcome to the chat, says good evening Shark and here tonight. First of all, I'm loving all these shark emojis, thank you guys. We have Craig N with the shark emojis, shout out to Craig. BD Bonzi with the shark emoji as well. We have 49er Brian, yo shark with the emojis, Flaming Crow with the shark emojis, freaking amazing. You guys are awesome, man, thank you so much. Title Manishir says what up Thursday gang. Yeah, I'm surprised. I've been doing a lot of Thursday streams. It might not be like this always, but I try to find the best timing possible for me to stream. Timothy James says good evening SHARKNEWZ, welcome brother, thank you so much for joining. Todd C says we staying frosty, hell yeah. Joshua is retracting messages. Russell says I actually made it on time at the very beginning. Yeah, man. Even Sabotage says finally made it on time. Yeah, I do feel bad because I know, like, timing wise, like, people are still at work or they're doing other things and people prefer like late night streams, but honestly, man, I know a lot of people have like kids and dinner and other things to take care of, so I kind of look at it both factors and see what's kind of like the medium of live streaming rather than you know, doing like a super late night thing, and then because everyone's got stuff to do, man. So but I'm glad that both of you are able to make it, because I know sometimes right when the stream is about to end, you know, somebody always comes in and they're just like, hey man, what did I miss? And I'm like, oh crap. Joshua says summer rental. Yes, summer rental. Oh man. So yeah, I will be going live stream on that channel as well. I'm just, you know, YoJoJune's kind of kicking my butt right now. Nerd Alert says, what's up everyone? Shark, thanks for being here. Thank you so much, Nerd Alert, for joining the stream as well. Flaming Crow says, hit that like button or get that. Yep, make sure you guys hit the like button. I appreciate it. And Sabotage says, sometimes it says 11 p.m. Yeah, so the weird part is if I were to set up the stream on my desktop, it'll say the original time frame of like 8 or 8:30 or whatever. But then if I do it from my laptop and still do it at 8 or 8:30 or 8:15, for some reason it'll change it to 11 p.m., which is really, really weird. And a lot of times it'll say 8:30 or 8:15 like on my phone, and then it'll still say 11 for some reason. So I have to like literally go on the desktop and then change that as well, and it just gets really annoying. Roland Max says, what's up, Shark and fam? What up, Roland Max? Thank you so much for joining. Ionic Blood, the legend 666 says, hello, fine gentlemen. Ionic Blood, man, we got to have our Mortal Kombat discussion someday. Russell Terrell says, I'm a single guy with no kids. I keep forgetting to come on the stream when it's until later. It's all good, man. No worries. That's the beautiful nature of streaming, is you can always watch it afterwards. There's, you know, whoever joins, whoever comes in later, it's all good. Robert says, I've missed the last few due to too many cocktails. All good, man. I mean, summer is here. We're all going to be wasted in one point or another. And shout out to all the people here that are watching, even if you're not in the chat. Thank you guys so much. And shout out to all of you guys in the chat as well. So we're going to start in just a few more minutes, but in the meantime, let's see. Title Manager says, do you guys see that Phalanx? Coolest thing that I'm probably not gonna buy. I have no idea what you're talking about. But yeah, so there's one thing I do want to talk about though in the meantime. I kind of want to figure out what is the method for Hasbro Pulse and their marketing team. I understand that, you know, they have a bunch of brands under their belt, and, you know, they have to market all these different brands and stuff in their figures and their pre-orders. But what I kind of, I don't want to say fail to understand, but what I'm trying to understand is, you know, the whole month is, you know, G.I. Joe's YoJoEJUNE, right? Which is great. Which, you know, nothing wrong with that. So, and, you know, there's a lot of collectors out there that don't collect G.I. Joe and who are into like Marvel and Star Wars and Transformers and all that. What I fail to understand is if, you know, let's say yesterday, which was June 4th, you know, we had those pre-orders. Now, you know, based on preference, it's up to you on how many you want to get or which figures you want to get. But it's like collectors just had a field day trying to spend like X amount of money on figures, and it's like, okay, I got to take a little break and whatever. And then today, you know, the Marvel Capcom, dear lord, the Marvel Capcom whatever Gameverse whatever figures went up for pre-order the next day. So it's like, if you're a collector that gets like every single brand from Hasbro, kind of, then it's like you just pre-ordered a bunch of figures yesterday, then you're trying to milk the situation by dropping pre-orders the next day for another brand, and it's like they need to like space it out a little bit more. Maybe that's not a business model per se, but in the sense of a collector thing, it's just like, wow. It's just a little too much, you know. But I guess it is what it is. Their business, they got to do what they got to do. Phalanx is the new Gridiron vehicle. Okay, no, I did not see that yet. I'll have to check it out soon. I'll check it out after the stream's over. Todd C says, Hasbro hit hard this month. Yeah, man. Joshua says that Phalanx looks bigger than my cat. Gridiron does really great stuff, but the pricing isn't good for me. Yeah, I've seen Gridiron do a lot of amazing things. Their detail looks pretty awesome, and they really do a lot of good loadouts and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, they're doing their thing, which is really awesome. It definitely gives you a lot of options if you want to hook up your figures with extra, like, more better looking weapons or these vehicles and stuff like that, which is fine because, you know, like I said, who knows how long Hasbro's going to take to create vehicles where you can have, you know, Gridiron Studios do their thing, which is really awesome. Derek says, I collect Legends, but I'm passing on the Fantastic Four and Capcom figures. I mean, Fantastic Four figures look pretty cool. It's just, I think I'm pretty much burnt out on anything MCU related at this point. Sabotage says, first half of the year has been lame, but starting soon we'll get shipments of every month. Yeah, man, I think that's kind of the game plan, right? I feel like, you know, collectors are going to start getting hit really hard with figures and pre-orders very soon. Or like the figures that were pre-ordered like a few months ago, which they're all going to get hit at one stop, which is going to be bad. Okay. So Chris Yule, welcome to the chat, says Hasbro is bad at being a toy company. I think they're going to hit a standstill because I think they're good per se. It's just, I think they're kind of failing at keeping up with times, if that makes any sense. Welcome to Holonet, or welcome Holonet to the channel, says, why am unsubbed everything I watch your channel? I don't know what that means. Mr. Madga says, I have very reasonable arms dealers that sells at a great price. Oh, wow. Flaming Crow says, the last few months of the year will get expensive. Yeah, man, because think about it. We still got 3 more weeks of YoJoJune. We still got PulseCon, which will be insane. We don't know what the hell they're going to release during PulseCon. We still got Hasbro's 1027 event, which is in October. And then we still have the Manchester Comic-Con, where they usually release like 1 or 2 figures. So last year it was Trench Viper and Heavy Duty. So let's see what they're going to reveal this year. Yellow Martian says, greetings from Saudi Arabia. Wow, that's awesome. Good to see you, Yellow Martian. Nice name, by the way. Awesome, from Saudi Arabia. That's freaking amazing. I think you're the first one. Good stuff. I had no idea we had collectors in Saudi Arabia. That's amazing. Well, that makes me very heartwarmed. It's very good to have people all over the world. We got, you know, Josh from Ireland. We got Yellow Martian from Saudi Arabia. That is amazing, man. Sweet. Julian Ari says Middle East has Joe collectors. Yeah, I had no clue. Really cool. Derek Hallman says Walmart Collector Con. Oh yeah, Walmart's Collector Con, which will probably be the NIGHTFORCE Beachhead and QUICKKICK 2-pack. What up, Benedict? Thank you so much for joining. Nerd Alert says that HasLab announced will dictate what I buy going forward. I'm pretty satisfied with my collection. Yeah, so am I. Let's see here. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where or what I want to collect for GI Joe Classified. I officially reached a point in the classified line where it's like I don't want every figure now. Before, in the first like 3.5 years, it was like I gotta get every figure, but now I'm just like I need to be very selective and just enjoy it, and get the figures that I really, really want, or the ones that would actually make my collection look great. So yeah, I'm really trying to figure that out. Holonet says I keep getting unsubbed. Oh, that's weird. Maybe it's a glitch on your end, not sure. Alan says, what's up, Shark? I'm at work, but I'll catch you on the replay. Shout out to Alan. I did read your comment earlier, but I'm happy you're still able to at least come in on the chat here and there. So it's really awesome, Alan. Hope you enjoyed the stream after you're done with work. 100% Nerd Alert. Thank you, everyone. Says Yellow Martian. Russell says, I hope sometime this year maybe they will release digital renders of Flash Grand Slam. Yeah, I mean, based on the article that JC from Toy News Eyes said, we're going to possibly be getting render reveals for Flash, Wetsuit, and Night Viper this year. or sorry, not this year, this month. So let's see what happens with that one. Hopefully, there's no, well, I don't know if they said sci-fi. I think it's just Night Viper, Flash, and whatever the other one was, Wetsuit. So let's see. Let's see here. Jason Ludwig, welcome to the chat, says, not spending a dime on more classified if I don't get my hands on the SDCC Cold Slither. Ooh. I mean, I'm 100% passing on Cold Slither, but, you know, for you guys that really want it, I hope, I wish you guys the best of luck. I will definitely provide the 4-day links, as usual, on my post tab. Like I tried helping everybody out last year with the Once a Man Cobra Commander and all that stuff, so hopefully you guys will be able to get it. Flash is definitely coming. His gun came with Glenda, that's true. Mr. Madgus talking about a plane. D. Sanchez says, just throwing it out there, Mercer looks smaller. Yes, D. Sanchez, we will definitely talk about that one. Joshua says, I decided to collect every named character in Classified, and my OCD isn't letting me quit that. All good, man. As long as you're enjoying it and you're happy, that's all that matters. HoloNet says, you got your Slice and Dice 2-pack? Not yet. I mean, I honestly did not realize it was going to be a Pulse exclusive. I had some leftover money saved in the Entertainment Earth department, so I was planning to use that to pay for the 2-pack, but then I saw that it was a Pulse exclusive, and I was like, oh, well, in that case, I might as well just wait a little bit. It's fine. I mean, at this point, I'm not rushing to get figures. It's not like I review classified figures on the channel anyway, so I have no need to rush to get figures first. I mean, my philosophy in collecting figures, especially for modern figures, is, you know, I don't want to rush, because if I rush to get the figures first or spend extra to get the figures first, I feel like I'm not enjoying it as I should, because then my motives would be like, oh, I got to make a YouTube video about it, and it's like, I want to be first to get it, and I want to, like, you know, I feel like the incentives would just be wrong. So I kind of want to enjoy the figure for what it is. Otherwise, you know. All right, so I'll give it like 2 more minutes and then we'll start. But the actual topics, let's see. Cold Slither has me right there. Sendel says, oh, Sendel Christian, welcome to the chat. Says Shark with emojis. Hell yeah. Welcome, Sendel, brother. It's good to see you, man. Hope your daughter is doing fine too. Congrats. I think you said you had a newborn, right? But congrats, brother. Hope she's doing well. Robert says, patches. Hell yeah. I cannot wait to see how the Joe team is going to talk about the patches during the unboxing episode, because they are going to market those patches so damn hard. It's gonna be terrible, man. Like, I cannot wait till the first thing they see is gonna be those patches in the live stream, and then Lenny or them, or they're gonna be like, wow, like, look at these, so cool, look at the stitching. That's gonna be funny as hell. Don't need Cold Slither. Got 3 if anyone to order multiples. I appreciate that, Russell Terrell, but it's all good, man. Like, honestly, you guys just subscribing to the channel is really more than I can ask for. No gifts needed. I appreciate that, though, man. Thank you so much. Same here, Chris. Perfect timing. Welcome to Out of Shelf Space. I appreciate it. Halonet says, those who paid $200 for Cobra Island, Viper, and Baroness. Man, those were good times. Cobra Island is like one of those things where you have like a twitch, like you're just like out of your supplements, where you start twitching your neck as you hear Cobra Island. It's pretty funny. I hope they oversell. Hopefully they agree with tiers. HASLAB wishful thinking. Okay, cool. All right. So let's start tonight's stream, as always, with the leaks and prototypes and name onlys and all that other good stuff. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. Okay, so as of right now, we have NIGHTFORCE, BEACHHEAD, and QUICKKICK that was revealed at Toy Fair. So I think someone, I forgot who just mentioned it in the chat. They said Walmart's CollectorCon. So there's a very good chance that we could see the G.I. Joe team reveal the NIGHTFORCE Beachhead and QUICKKICK, or review it, and it could still go up for pre-order. However, I feel like the NIGHTFORCE Beachhead or NIGHTFORCE in general is always a Walmart thing, so it's always going to be like a Walmart's CollectorCon reveal. Therefore, we could, and Walmart's CollectorCon is usually during San Diego Comic-Con. So they could reveal it in the next 3 weeks, but it probably won't be up for pre-order until July. Hopefully I'm wrong, but we'll see how that works out. Otherwise, if it's still available, because again, NIGHTFORCE is a Walmart thing, because there's no store associated to Mad Marauders or Python Patrol or Tiger Force. I think Tiger Force used to be Target, but they probably got rid of that. But yeah, let's see here. We have the Desert Scorpion. Holy shit! So I do have the figure. Let me take that out real quick. Not the classified one. Hold on. Alright, for those that are living in a bubble who have no idea what Desert Scorpion is all about, if you look here on the... if you guys can see clearly, hopefully if it loads. Here we have Desert Scorpion in the O-ring version. Now, this is a really awesome figure, but it definitely shares similar design aspects to the version, I think, 4 Snake Eyes, the one that just went up for pre-order, or the Alpha Commando Snake Eyes. It has like that same goggles and head sculpt, so I'm pretty sure we're going to see a reuse of that. Now, the only disappointing thing about this figure for the classified version, which we know is going to happen, is in the back here, you can see it comes with a cloth piece that hooks onto the actual helmet. We know that the classified team is not going to give us cloth goods anymore, so it's going to be like a hard plastic, which is already 10 points off on the figure. But nonetheless, the all black and yellowish orange aesthetic and the browns and all that is going to be pretty awesome. This was an earlier figure that I had growing up, and it's one of those where I really do like Desert Scorpion, so I think it's going to be awesome. So I can't wait for that. Lenny did say that the Desert Scorpion will come with a giant scorpion, so if you have the O-ring version, it does come with a all black scorpion. So this is the one that came with the figure. The only thing is it'll probably obviously more articulated, and it's going to be more detailed than this little rubbery thing here, so that's going to be really, really exciting. So I cannot wait to see what they're going to do with the Desert Scorpion. Let's hold on, let me go back to the chat real quick. Oh, she turned 3, my bad. But yeah, I did remember you told me that she was a bit older, but I was thinking more like 1 or 2 years old, but 3, damn, that's crazy. Where does the time go? Snow Mountain unit patches, that would suck. Cannot wait for Desert Scorpions to Sendel, hell yeah. Desert Scorpion's gonna be sick, absolutely. HoloNet says, I don't have any beachheads. Oh man. Will Newman says, I got unsubscribed from 2. YouTube does that to a lot of people. Oh, that's crazy, man. Well, I'm glad you guys are still subscribing to the channel, so I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for coming back. It should work, says Mr. Magus. Russell says, I don't remember Desert Scorpion. I looked it up and I might get this if they make him badass. The original was after my Joe time playing days. Yeah, I mean, for me growing up for G.I. Joe, I personally did not care what year the figure was. I was one of those Joe collectors where I said, if the figure looks cool, I'm buying it. So it didn't even matter what year it was from, what color, what aesthetic. I bought it and I just added any figure into my collection. So design-wise, whatever. It didn't necessarily had to be original 13 or all military. I wanted to just, you know, buy whatever figures looked great in my collection. I only got Budo, says Robert. Good stuff. I hope Scorpion is mechanical. That would be sick, says Sabotage. If they, like, honestly, if you think about a giant scorpion, there's no way to do that other than making it mechanical. Otherwise, you'll just have to use your storytelling for Dr. Mindbender to create a giant scorpion, which really would not make any sense. But a mechanical scorpion, that seems a classified thing to do, so I would have no objections to that. HoloNet says, I think Desert Scorpion was in the Deke series. I don't think he was in the Deke series, but there is trailers on YouTube that has Desert Scorpion in the teasers or like trailers for like to promote the action figures. So you can see him in cartoon form, but I don't think he was in the Deke series, or maybe he was. I don't remember. What's happening? Chris Yule says target is still Tiger Force. Okay, my bad. Will Newman says I mainly want the original 1982 team of Joes. Yeah, so we know that they're going to stretch that out for years to come. Even though I did buy a lot of the others. Robert says they're past my time. Budo is too. Shark talked him up, so I went for him. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to make you spend extra money. But Budo did look pretty cool, though. We'll talk about him shortly. Okay. Pass on the MMS. Mr. Madgus says way too much to pre-order for me. God bless y'all if that's the most start shipping around the same time. I'm good with the hunt. That's true. I still miss the golden days of hunting at Walmart and Target. Mawcom says, sorry, brother, can you tell me how do you pronounce your YouTube name? Is it Mawcom? I want to pronounce it right, but what's up? Russell Terra says, how many likes so far? What is your count you want to get tonight? It says we have 45 likes. Wow, I didn't know that. Okay, tonight's stream likes, let's get to 55. If we can get to 55 likes for tonight's stream, that would be freaking sick. Sabotage says, what's Sabotage says, Shark, what was your era of a real American hero? So I worked in very strange ways when it comes to collecting and stuff like that. So I necessarily didn't get any of the original like straight arm Joes. And I wasn't necessarily into a lot of the super military-esque figures. So I guess you can say it wasn't until like I watched the original G.I. Joe cartoon for sure, but it's just like I preferred more of, because I grew up like loving martial arts and like sci-fi futuristic style movies and cartoons and stuff. So if a figure was more in that realm or looked mechanical, I kind of bought those. So the Deke series had a lot of crazy designs, and I think I fell in love with Deke series figures first, and then after I got that, and then I went back and got into the original A Real American Hero run and got like the human style characters, and then I took a bit of a hiatus and then came back into G.I. Joe around the 2000s era when they created the 2-packs that I would see at Toys R Us from like 2000 to 2001 and 2. And then a brief hiatus again until I came back to when they revealed Spy Troops and Valor vs. Venom. Didn't necessarily went all complete on that, but right around the Renegades and Resolute era, and you know, around that time, that's when I kind of fell off for a while. I don't know if that answers your question. I only bought Joe from 86 to 90. Sounds like a plan. Same here. Snake Eyes and Budo. Yeah, man, the ninjas are going to be freaking sick. As Ionic Blood says, Snake Eyes and Budo versus Slice and Dice diorama. That's going to be amazing, man. I think I might just kind of end my Joe collecting from the, unless it's like the tech guys like Dial Tone and Mainframe and Sci-Fi, or like those futuristic dudes, maybe Steel Core, but yeah, I think I might head more into the ninjas just because that's what I grew up with a lot more. 83 to 87, says Robert. Sabotage says 85 to 90. So it looks like 90 is more of a cutoff point for a lot of you. A 112 scorpion pet. That would be freaking sick, says Joshua. Let's see here. Hold on. Mr. Madgus says... Alright, so Mr. Madgus says, can we do 57 likes since I'll be turning 57 tomorrow? Oh, okay, ladies and gentlemen, so Mr. Madgus will be turning 57 tomorrow, therefore, let's all wish Mr. Madgus a very happy birthday. And we are at 52 likes right now. Let's get to 57 in honor of Mr. Madgus turning 57 tomorrow, so that should be fun. So do your thing, guys. Let's see if we can reach the goal for tonight of 57. Russell Terrell says, after serving 8 years in the Army and getting classified series, my heart will always be towards the military aspect of G.I. Joe. The realism, the better. That's great, man. Well, thank you for all your service, brother. Yeah, I mean, as long as you enjoy collecting what you enjoy and it makes you happy and your collection thrives off of having the military aspects and the realism, then more power to you, brother. But that's awesome knowing that you were in the military, so that's awesome. Shout out to Russell Terrell. Alright, so moving on in the meantime, we also have the new reveal of the steel core sentry with defense post. So I recently did a SHARKNEWZ video on all the steel core figures that we know so far. So now it's very interesting to know that we're getting a steel core sentry figure. Color schemes, helmet wise, will maybe be something I may be interested. I'm not sure. If it comes with the defense post, that just shows me that Hasbro's a bit heading into diorama pieces, because we've seen the trench Viper with the porta potties, which is pretty cool. So the defense post, I had to look it up to kind of remind myself what it was, and I can picture the actual packaging. I just don't know how to exactly explain the defense post, but it seems pretty interesting. But in order to get another steel core figure, you got to have the defense post. So it looks like they're actually giving us some cool new props for our photography and dioramas, which is pretty awesome. So we'll have to wait for more images for that one. So by the time that comes out, then we'll have a full-blown conversation. HoloNet says, I didn't come back to Joe's seriously till Pursuit of Cobra. I mean, Pursuit of Cobra came out with, I think, so I mentioned this before, I fell off of G.I. Joe when they were around the 35th and 50th anniversary lines, because at that point, I already had all my original O-rings that you see behind me right there. And I wasn't, as much as I loved the detail and the actual updated sculpts and articulation on those figures, they just seemed a little too skinny and lanky for my personal liking. Therefore, I kind of fell off of G.I. Joe around the 35th and 50th era, even though there's some really, really great looking characters and designs, and like there's some of the best sculpts of G.I. Joe figures, but I somehow prefer my original O-ring ones over anything, any day. Mr. Madga says, someone want to get me a flag. Dude, we're all struggling to get a flag. I actually looked up a USS flag a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and to get one complete is about $3,000. I don't even care about the box. It's just if you want to have, if you just want to have the original USS flag, it's about $3,000, maybe $2,000 at most. All right, so moving on. As for the leaks, we have the Retro Bat and GREENSHIRT Army Builder. There are some YouTubers out there with reviews of that, so watch on your own timing. But we have a brand new leak, which is the NIGHTFORCE BEACHHEAD vest, which I thought was like a prototype vest that came out, so that's cool. Now, the big highlight we have here Holy shit. We have Maki Tot all the way from the Philippines. Good morning to Maki Tot. Hold on. So we have Yellow Martian from Saudi Arabia. We have John Brooks from Ireland. And now we have Maki Tot from the Philippines. Shout out to all my international subscribers. You guys are freaking awesome. Yeah, international subscribers. That's so cool. But yeah, so the upside is the exciting part is we still have listings for wetsuit, or should I say render reveals, probably whatever. Flash, Night Viper, and Sci-Fi. I'm really nervous for Sci-Fi and Night Viper, so we will see how that's going to turn out. Then we have Reddog and Taurus, because we know that Mercer is coming out, which we'll talk about shortly. But it seemed like in my community tab page, the poll that I did, a lot of you were more interested in getting wetsuit than any other figure, so that's pretty awesome, but we will see how that's going to turn out. All good, Zoran. Benedict says, I have close to 125th Cobra Troopers. Damn, that's crazy. I gotta see a picture of that. Madga says, Soundwave love that star, bro. Been a fan since the 70s. Shoot. Sunder Ganesan, welcome, brother. Says, what's up, Shark? It's good to see you, man. Happy you're able to join the chat. Holland says, I need a custom build. No need for a company to undersize the original. Well, the classified line's not giving us a flag anyway, so the only way to get it will most likely be you build one yourself, or you get the original O-ring one from eBay. Alright, so now let's head to the official. So yeah, so when it comes to the listings like Wetsuit, Flash, Night Viper, and Sci-Fi, we'll talk more about those whenever we get reveals. As I always say, keep in mind, I am going to have a field day when they reveal Night Viper and Sci-Fi, so if you guys hear me nitpicking too much or drooling, we'll see what happens with that. But for now, we'll save the excitement when those comes later. Chad Kinsler, welcome to the chat. Good to see you, brother. So the first one we're going to talk about here today is the police officer, which is part of the Legacy series. So let's see here. We are in June, the first week of June. And for the Legacy series, we already have the firefighter, and now we have the police officer. So I have a SHARKNEWZ video coming out probably on tomorrow, and another video coming out on Sunday. I made them ahead of time. Zoran Barbarian, welcome to the chat. My bad, brother. And I'm kind of disappointed that they only gave us 4 figures for the 4 figures for the 60th anniversary figures. So I assume that they were going to do a lot more anniversary figures, because when G.I. Joe says like we're going to do an anniversary line, you expect to have at least, I assume, at least 10 figures, you know, because if it's an anniversary, you want to like go all out. But they hyped up anniversary line and then they only gave us 4 figures. So that kind of defeats the purpose of that, but at least they're not numbered, I think. So that's good. But now we have 2 figures, which is a brand new line, which is the Legacy series. So we have the firefighter and now the police officer. Personally, the police officer is not my cup of tea, so this is like 100% pass for me. But if you're someone that you know, enjoys the police aspect or photography, or has someone that's a police officer, or you have figures involving police, then this will definitely be up your alley. But for me, this is 100% of a pass. But yeah, it's okay, unless you do like an ultimate like kit bash or something, then it could be very cool. But otherwise, for me, I don't see the need for it, at least in my collection, so I can save myself money there. Great render, says Benedict. Malcolm says build a police squadron. Yeah, that could. Yeah, so you can literally put Shockwave in front and then have the police officers in the back. So I recently was recording my O-Ring reviews on the Retro Shark channel, and I was reading Shockwave's bio, and it says that because Shockwave is part of the SWAT team, Shockwave is actually the character that goes in first. He actually creates he paves the way for everyone else before the police officers or the other SWAT teams goes in. So I thought that was really cool. Let's see what we have here. Derek Holloman, welcome to the chat. Said, or I think you're already in here. He says, I'm going to pass on all the legacy. Cinder says, if they only release Wetsuit with the Devilfish. Wishful thinking, my friend. But hopefully one day. Joshua says he comes with a coffee, but no donut. Ooh. I think the donut would have been pushing buttons. That's a must-have, says Madgus. Hell yeah, Sunder. Hello there. Happy to be here, says Zoran. Title Manishir says, I'm hoping these heads and for the firefighters work with the green shirts. Oh, that would be dope. I will get this one, but he can be used to army build Cobra Troopers because of that blue uniform. Yeah, that could work too. Cop looks good, but so does the fireman, but it's not G.I. Joe. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm not investing in the Legacy series, because it reminds me of the Leonard Corpse figures. Because in my G.I. Joe collection, I had a few Leonard figures, and those were more like grounded compared to G.I. Joe, and these Legacy ones just feel like it's an homage to those. That's more of a SWAT officer, says Ionic Blood. The darker sculpt is amazing. Oh shit, Ionic Blood with the clutch answer. He says, swapping that head for Sergeant Slaughter. That's a good idea, man. That's a good idea. You can get a younger Sergeant Stalker, actually. Very good idea. Mr. Madka says, I hear y'all and agree, but the cop can blend in for me, and I plan on using extra heads and hawks and new body extra figures. That's true. Very true. Yeah, I mean, like I said, these are very good for like background characters for sure. Extra troop builders. Ken Matinee, welcome to the chat, says, I'm gonna get at least 2. Don't worry, D. Sanchez, we still got a long way to go. Shockwave is the flashbang man, I guess. Knock knock boys. Cowgirl. 60th Legacy swapping. Green shirt says sabotage. Legacy is homage to the 12-inch line. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all these, the 60th anniversary one, the Legacy, they all do pay respects to the original 12-inch figures, but that's obviously way earlier than my time, so, but again, these are more realistic professions, so for G.I. Joe, it's like, you know, one day you have a ninja like Snake Eyes, and the next day you have a Indian like Spirit, and then next you have, I don't know, like a naked shirtless dude like QUICKKICK. Raging Sherbert, welcome to the chat, says Worlds Without Ends, Dreadnought Cops, Kit Bash incoming. Good stuff. Plenty of customized. Yeah, I mean, I think part of the perks of buying these Legacy figures and anniversary ones is the options to customize and Kit Bash is very high, because these will definitely, I mean, they would look really great, blue uniforms next to the green shirt army builders, and I think he also comes with what do you call it, handcuffs, which is pretty cool. Robert Wantland says, what's in the cup? I have water. Dominic Johnson says, hey Shark, will you still be covering Joe's after the ninjas come out? 100% Dominic. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be covering G.I. Joe until every single dang G.I. Joe figure comes out, so don't worry about that. Will I be collecting every single G.I. Joe classified figure? Absolutely not, but as long as SHARKNEWZ is here, we'll be talking about every single figure that they release. Also, shout out to everybody who liked tonight's stream, because we officially hit 59 likes, as the initial goal was 57 for Mr. Madgus. So shout out to Mr. Madgus, who turns 57 tomorrow. So we officially surpassed our goal for tonight. Alright. When are they going to do some female stripper, says Big Legacy. Oh shoot, Mr. Madgus. Oh, I don't know about that. That's definitely not going to happen. Alright, so let's move on from the police officer, because we still got a few more to talk about, but yeah, I think I mean, I don't really have much to say about this guy, but for those that are going to get it and will enjoy getting it, I'm extremely happy for you guys, and hopefully it comes out pretty well. Russell says, I wanted to get all the legacy figures, but I only got a couple so far. Missed the sniper and navy scuba one. Russell Terrell, if you check my community post, or the post tab page, or whatever it's called now, I think the sniper was up on Amazon for a lot cheaper price, so you can check that out if you prefer. I don't know if it's still there, but I think it was definitely a lot cheaper than original was. Anyways, so let's talk about the supposed meat and potatoes of tonight's stream, which is the 2-pack consisting of Mercer and Sergeant Slaughter. So while you guys in the chat tell me how you feel about it, but I'm gonna quickly go over my thoughts. I don't really like this Sergeant Slaughter. I don't like those camo designs on him. The khaki or whatever beige color is fine. The head sculpts are cool, whatever. But I just don't like the Sergeant Slaughter. I don't need another Sergeant Slaughter. The black one is definitely the definitive one for me. But I personally do not. I just don't like the color scheme. I don't see a need for this in my collection by any means. It just doesn't do it for me. Mercer, on the other hand, is known to be the ex-Cobra Viper, so we can see that he obviously has a lot of the Viper aesthetic of the reds and blues, which is really cool, and I loved his introduction in the 87 G.I. Joe movie, but his face sculpt is not good. At least I don't think it's good. The body is fine. I know a lot of people are not liking the size of Mercer, and that's another issue, because Mercer should be a lot taller. He looks way too short, unless this is just, you know, he could be a lot taller in the actual figure form, and the render is just showcasing him small. But if this is an actual height accuracy, then I'm not happy about it one bit, although the design of him is cool. At least lower half, torso, legs, all that is fine. But Mercer's face kind of resembles the same as Big Boa's alternate head sculpt, where I'm not a fan of that one either. But there's really not much difference of the head sculpts, where, you know, the Mercer that we see there has the smirk, and then the other Mercer head sculpt is just like a straightforward face. If you've seen the G.I. Joe 87 movie, which was the only version Mercer came in, because the Deke series had the black hair version, that Mercer in the animated movie looked so damn badass. I mean, the way they drew his face, his hair, his body proportions, all that, like, I think the design of that Mercer figure looked absolutely incredible. And then I look at this face sculpt and I'm just like, that's not good. I mean, I understand they wanted to do a modern version, like an updated head sculpt for Mercer, but it sucks when who's a big fan of Slaughter's Renegades, Slaughter's Renegades, you know, I'm a fan of those 3 figures, and you already botched a pivotal character, because now it's like you might as well just put freaking hair on Taurus and make Reddog bald. You know what I mean? Like, it just, you kind of lose half of that excitement already, and that's what bothers me. And it's just like, I hope, I don't know, I'm just like, I wasn't too happy about it. I looked at it and I'm just like, like, and on top of that, like, in order for me to get this Mercer, I have to get this Sergeant Slaughter. I can obviously sell it or give it away or whatever, but realistically speaking, it's just like, I don't want this Slaughter, man. But yeah, as Derek Holloman says in the chat, and I believe you were also in the comment section of my video, it has to be a lot taller. He just looked so amazing in the movie, the 87 movie, and how do you go from that to ruining it with this one? And I don't want to say ruining in a sense that they did a super horrible job. It's just, it could have been a lot better. So to say I'm a little disappointed, you know, I'm just, yeah, I am disappointed. I don't want to say a little, I say I am, because honestly, I know it probably would have been a lot more expensive, and it probably wouldn't have been a great idea in general, but if Hasbro was really smart, they could have just gave us a 3-pack with the Renegades. I mean, sure, it would probably be a lot pricier, but just imagine if it was Mercer, Reddog, and Taurus in the 3-pack. If Mercer looked like this, but he still came with Taurus and Reddog, I would be like, okay, that's fine. Like, then I would not be nitpicking as much, but you already give us a not so good head sculpt. He's not tall enough, and on top of that, you're giving us another Sergeant Slaughter. Like, that's like, you're kind of like killing my excitement and the happiness to get the figure, which at some point I'll still get, but I'll probably have to buy it loose or something. I don't know. Okay, let's read let's catch up with the chat, because now I'm way behind. Okay. Sabotage says, I'm not crazy about either. Robert says, damn, I want that Mercer, but don't want another Slaughter. I agree. Sabotage says, Mercer doesn't look very impressive. Agreed. Nerd Alert says, I'm feeling it more and more. Sarge is a top 10 in the series. Yeah, I mean, Sergeant Slaughter is a really awesome figure, but it's just the color scheme is just not doing it for me. And I think they may have changed his legs. I'm not sure, because his proportions don't look right. It seems like his upper torso from the waist looks a lot bigger, and then the legs looks like he's using airborne legs. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like to me. Title Manisher says, Mercer looks too small. I think the Renegades as brutes. Yeah, 100%, man. You're not wrong on that. Sabotage says, those glasses will still fall off. Yep, that's unfortunate. So, again, adding more list to my complaints. Glasses that fall off, no good. But there's no way to implement non-falling glasses, because then you would have to make the ears stick out like John Cena in order for the ears, or for the glasses to go around the ears, and or you have like the peg holes, or the holes that you had that the retro Baroness had. Roy says, is it me, or does Mercer's head sculpt looks like Road Pig? It looks, I mean, thankfully it looks better than Road Pig. Road Pig just looks like an anime character. Mercer looks more human compared to Road Pig, but I'm still not happy about either. So I think Mercer's head sculpt and Road Pig head sculpt and maybe the alternate head sculpt of Big Boa are probably in my top 3 not so good ones at the moment. Ken Matinee says, I like the 2-pack and Mercer, but thought Sergeant Slaughter was going to come in a different color scheme. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the other version of Sergeant Slaughter, he has the maroon outfit, or not maroon, sorry, he has the khaki and maroon camo, but I thought they were going more in that. Maybe it is an homage to that one, but this one looks, it just looks very unappealing and uninspiring to me. I don't know. I can't settle with this. again, the head sculpts, all that is fine. I have no issue with that, because look at the alternate head sculpt. He does come with a new hat, which is really cool, but I don't know, I can't do it. Slaughter looks more like a state trooper. Yeah, I agree. That's pretty funny though. Will Newman says, I wouldn't mind getting Mercer, but don't even want Slaughter. Got the first classified and 2 Action Force versions. Yeah, exactly. How many more Slaughters do we need, right? I mean, we also got the Mad Marauders one too. And then we still have the USA one too, coming out at some point. Benedict says, I'm going to use Slaughter to make a Mission Brazil. Is Mercer one who spits on the Scorpion? Yes, he does, Joshua. That's when Sergeant Slaughter in the movie was like, that's Mercer, ex-Cobra Viper, something. Mercer should be the size of a Viper. Yep. That's going to be really sad if he's not as tall as a Viper. I do like beige. Renegades should be a 3-pack, says Zoran. I agree. I mean, Sergeant Slaughter is a tall figure, don't get me wrong. But Mercer should be not the size of a standard figure. Like, Mercer should have his own height. The Renegades in general are all like tall ass dudes, at least how they were depicted in the cartoon movie too. Vulture, welcome to the chat, says Yo Shark, late to the party. All good, man. Good to see you here. Happy to have you in the chat. Soundwave says, do you believe we'll be getting a Thrasher version 1 figure soon or in the near future? I think we'll probably get a Thrasher with a Thunder Machine. Because I know if they reveal or release Thrasher without a Thunder Machine, it's just gonna be chaos, because he, like, figures that come with vehicles need to come with the vehicles. Mercer needs to be bigger, says Derek. I agree. I want to take Sarge and line him up with all my Joes in platoon formation, just like the basic training. Yep, I'm doing this, says Russell. Mr. Sampson says needs to be a bit bigger. I agreed. Sorry guys, I'm just catching up with the chat. Give me a second. I'm way behind. Tron Viper, welcome to the chat, says this Sarge looks cool. Reminds me of the one from the game with the Warthog. Yeah, I think that's where they were going with it, but I think they just didn't execute it properly in the color department. Mercer is too tiny. He should have been closer to the height of an old man Slaughter. Yeah, at least up to Slaughter's, like, glasses. No, well, at least up to the edges of his hat or something. I don't know. Changeable hands. Swap Mercer. My 50th anniversary. So, welcome to the chat, Delpho Nito. Mercer looks like Sid from Toy Story, says Benedict. Taurus was my favorite. Ken says, this is news to me. I didn't realize Mercer character was as big as Sergeant Slaughter or a Roadblock stature. Because think about it. You have characters like Reddog, who's a football player. What if they make him short, right? Like, I'm sure there's shorter football players out there, but he's technically like, he looks like a 6-footer in the cartoon. Buy it at good, what, GameStop when no one wants it, worth, I don't do GameStop prices. They overcharge. GameStop and FYE are just terrible at pricing. Ionic Blood says, looking at the still of the movie, the figure is kind of on point. Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. The body and the legs, all that is fine. It's just the face that I'm not a fan of. I seen Putty with more backbone. They released a Cold Slither song called Thunder Machine. Could be a hint, possibly. Alright. But other than that, I don't even know when these will go for pre-order, but it seems like everyone has, I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe the figures will be a lot better in person or even in the actual release, because these are just renders, but I guess we'll see what happens. All right. Psycho F First says the render makes Mercer look as short as Tunnel Rat. And shout out to Psycho for joining in the chat. Zoran says, last week here in Canada, all got one copy of Starduster and Techno Viper with the HMS. Who would have thought? Congratulations, man. That's awesome. Alright, so we will come back to Mercer and Sergeant Slaughter once we get more official product shots, and then maybe, just maybe, if we get the actual photography from the Joe team, it could change my mind. But for now, I guess we're all in the same, roughly in the same boat, that Mercer should be taller and his face sculpt should be better. But yeah. Okay, so moving on to the great, at least for me, the highlight for my love for ninjas. We have the Slice and Dice 2-pack. Hell freaking yeah. HoloNet says FYE still exists. Surprisingly, there's a few that did shut down already, but I have 2 malls in the distance of 35 to 40 minutes each from each other, and they surprisingly still have an FYE. However, all the other FYEs I've been to are all finished. They had their final sales and they were closing down, which is very unfortunate, but it is what it is. So this is one of those 2-packs where, unless you're into ninjas or they look cool, or you know, you just like it in your collection, then yeah, that's what makes the 2-pack awesome. However, I can totally understand for those that don't want this, just because it's not technically your realm of G.I. Joe. It's not like, you know, because this is like the Ninja Force. Therefore, this 2-pack is not going to be on everyone's want list. And I totally understand it and respect it. It's just, yeah, I love it. This is one of those things where I'm actually very happy about it. And you know, to me, it's like an homage to Mortal Kombat's Ermac and Rain, if anybody has any idea who those two are, but that's what I thought about it. Although I'm still not a fan of Dice's red trims on the figure, but Lenny did say that there's a reason for it. However, you know, he said there's a reason why they put the red trims on him, even though I personally don't want it. But I guess it kind of makes sense. But again, as a ninja lover, this is for me. So I mean, unfortunately, I did not pre-order it because, like I said before earlier in the chat, that it was Pulse exclusive, and I was hoping to use different funds to pay for it. But when I found out it was on Pulse, I was like, maybe I can wait a little bit more. Holy shit, what just happened here? Solo Sinner with the $75 in Canadian money, in Canada money. Thought of you when they revealed this, Shark. I put this super chat towards your pre-order. I even did the Canadian conversion because I'm cool like that. Wait, what just hold on, I'm giving you the shark heart. It still says I'm so confused. So what is the conversion? Well, I mean, you said you did the Canadian conversion, so that means it's $75 or like US money, or is that still, I don't know, man. I'm so bro, take it back. Take it back, bro. No, please. Take it back, man. That's very, very kind of you, but that's a lot of money, man. No. Please. That is insane. I'm giving you like 5 minutes to retract that payment, bro. Seriously, that is a lot. You can use that on so many better things in life than me. Trust me. I feel like George Costanza right now, where he's like, I have no speech. I am without speech. Oh man, that's insane. Thank you, Solo Sinner, man. But seriously, I'm giving you 5 minutes. Please retract your offer. Man, I need to drink some water. Let me just segue this conversation before I pass out. Zoran says, when did Mortal Kombat join the Joes? Hasbro actually did create Mortal Kombat figures in the O-Ring version, and surprisingly to say, they actually gave us a lot of the original characters in the O-Ring line, and they also came out with the boat that Shang Tsung collected a lot of the warriors on, so really cool. Mr. Madgus says, I have another split window commercial, one on one side of and Shark on the other. When the hell did YouTube start doing this? I have no clue. Zero idea. Probably the best thing from the Neon 90s. Okay, I have to, I'm catching up with the chat. Sorry, give me a second. Just hit 67. Canada money is worth more. I mean, Canada is awesome. I've been there a few times, but it's so much cleaner than US, that's for sure. Malcolm says, any HasLab talks today, Shark? Yes, we're getting to the HasLab part soon. Give me a second. Ionic Blood says, Shark, it's still available on Pulse, no excuse now. I mean, listen, if Solo Sinner wants me to get it, then I have to put that money towards that. Oh shit, dude. Solo Sinner, man. Oh, Dio mio. I just need time to like think about this. 54.89. Buy your ninja is held by 2 sets. No 2 sets. Russell Terrell says, that's your slice and dice order, Shark. Get it, review it, says Joss. Yeah. I mean, if I review it, it's going to be on the Retro Shark channel. That's where I review my figures. What just happened here? Mr. Samson says, everyone hit that like and subscribe. Thank you. I've been totally blindsided by this. But Solo Sinner, man, I'm gonna drink this water to you as a salute. Thank you so much, man. That is absolutely insane. You really did not have to do that, but damn. Thank you so much, man. I will have to buy it. I will have to get it. And I will dedicate the review to you, man. Thank you so much. That is I am without speech. I can't even talk about this anymore. I need to move on. Man, let's move on. All right. While I take a breather, you guys let me know in the chat what you think. How did you do with the Hawk in the MMS? Russell says, go place that order now live. So the thing is, I don't want to do it while I'm streaming on this computer, because I don't want to risk the computer malfunctioning while I open too many tabs up at the same time while I'm live streaming. So I will have to get it as soon as the stream is over. Hopefully it's still available after the stream is done, but yeah. The slice figure turned out pretty awesome. They will still get me again with the retro version. Robert Wantless says, love it, but don't need another Hawk. I ordered it. There was actually, I think one of my subscribers asked, why does Hawk have blonde hair? So, of course, this pays homage to the original figure. It also is part of the original run from the comics, and this is technically how Hawk was before that other version that mostly people know and refer to him as, especially in the animated series where he had the chiseled jawline and the brown hair and then the bomber jacket. This Hawk was always and traditionally meant to be the blonde-haired version, but let's see here. Budo is back in stock, says Robert Wantland. Vulture says I got 2. Will Newman says I found it on Amazon. Good stuff. Russell says, oh, this was a no-brainer. The slicing, what? Psycho says the slice figure turned out pretty awesome. They still get me again with their retro version. Yeah, I mean, the other slice, there's still like those patterns that the original slice has that they did not include in the new one. So there's possibly a good chance we could get a retro one too at some point. I like it, but version 2 is better, says Benedict. I mean, yeah, so this Hawk will essentially be for those that want the original 13, who want the classic green army, who want the traditional Joes in their collection. I agree with, who just said that? With Benedict, the version 2 one was more of my preferred Hawk figure, but this one definitely will go hand in hand with the retro rock and roll, and then obviously the grunt figure, and then who else? That's a retro Snake Eyes and Scarlet and etc. Royce Wilkerson, welcome to the... were you already here before? I think you were. He says, I ordered it also. They put his name on him just like Grunt says Sabotage. Is it the same chest piece like Grunt, or is it a different one? I can't tell because the image is smaller on here. Tron Viper says blonde from the OG Marvel Comics. Why does Hasbro refuse to fix them damn fire effects? Are the fire effects still in reverse order? I mean, that looks... Is it fine? I mean, because technically if the missile is... Oh wait, no, because the peg... Wait. Oh, yeah. Okay, because the peg is supposed to be, I think, where the orange is, because the head... No. I mean, the smoke... Now, the smoke is supposed to be on the far end, right? Now I'm mixing everything up. I don't remember. Solo Sinner definitely screwed me over in my brain malfunctioned. I feel like if anybody has any recollection of that Beavis and Butthead episode where that character got electrocuted from the computer that that Butthead stepped on, and he was like, "Carry on my wayward son." Oh man. Another missile launcher with wobbly tow hitch. Vulture says, who is in the background for the slice and dice picture back of the box standing on the mountaintop? There's somebody in the background? I have no clue. I started to stop looking at the artwork. I don't know why, but I think it's just like I'm kind of taking everything as a surprise as the Joe team reveals things. But I do know that someone mentioned that there's also a sword that's on a rock, and it could be another ninja, or it could be Budo's sword, or it could be somebody else's. I don't know. Oh shit. Shout out to Santa Samson for the $2. He says Jetpack Hawk rules. Oh, he knows how to trigger me. Santa Samson is the only one that knows I hate that Hawk. I don't know if a lot of you remember that story about that Hawk thing, but that Hawk story of the jetpack one. I don't know if anybody wants to hear it. If you remember. Oh shoot. Shout out to Nikki Nicole Customs. I want to give a huge shout out to Nikki Nicole Customs because not only is she freaking awesome, but she is a great toy, what do you call it? Colorer. she is a force to reckon with, man. Like, Nikki, you do so many great stuff. I cannot admire it enough. All your work on Savage Crucible is by far like one of the best sculpts that I've seen, or like the best coloring and shading that I've seen on figures in a very, very long time. So thank you for all your hard work and effort that you put into these figures, and it just makes my Savage Crucible collection like absolutely fantastic. I am aware you're also part of the Naughty or Nice reindeers. I don't know if you do the actual Santa Clauses, but yeah, I gotta get a Santa Claus too. But yeah, you do a fantastic job. So thank you so much for joining in on the chat. And thank you for always supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. Oh shit, I'm so behind on the chat. What's going on here? Yeah, I'm telling you, man, my brain just totally fried ever since Solo Sinner's donation, so I don't even know what the hell I call it a toy colorer. It's that was a good one. I'm actually planning to sell the MMS and I want to keep the figure only. Maybe it's okay. Colonoscopy? I don't know. Alright, anyways, so let's move on from Hawk. I guess we can all agree that this was roughly a must-buy for a lot of you because, again, it's the original 13 style version and plus the MMS, and aside from the backwards missiles and stuff, really cool at least. Yeah, anyways, so that was Hawk. So let's move on to Budo. I won't spend too much time on Budo because we've already talked a lot about it during the previous live stream and the render, but one of the things I do want to talk about for Budo is the GIJOE team stated that they looked at the original Budo figure and they said the green colors were a little too bright and they wanted to mute the colors. All good, Tron Viper. Thank you so much for joining, man. I appreciate it. Have a good night, man. And they said that they wanted to mute the colors on Budo. So the thing that I find wrong about that statement is oh, thank you, Mr. Samson. Oh, I forgot to do a comparison with the Senshi figure. Shit. Oh, it's too late now. Damn. But what was I saying? They said that they had to mute the color scheme on Budo to make the greens and grays a lot darker. But if you actually own the original O-ring version of Budo, the color schemes were actually not vibrant at all. They weren't even like something for you to mute. Because we all know that the GIJOE team always usually mutes the colors on figures, and I didn't think that they needed to actually mute the colors on the Budo at all. But I do want to touch up on Mr. Sampson's comment about we have to thank Bobby Vala for this one. Yeah, damn, I forgot to do the actual... You know what? Let me see if I can do it. If the stream ends, then I apologize in advance. But let me see if I can incorporate the Senshi figure on this stream. Okay, wish me luck. If the stream ends, I deeply apologize. But let's try to see if I can do this quickly as possible. I'm on the wrong one. Where are we? Where's that? Okay, here we go. Here, Action Force. I believe that was series... No, we have a Series 5. Senshi. Found it. No, that's the exclusive. No, that's the Night Ops one. Alright, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I have to do this properly. Oh, shit. Okay, give me 1 second. Where's my stream? Okay. Let's see if this works. All right. Let's remove the weapons. Let's remove all that. Sorry if this looks very sloppy, but I'm gonna do the best I can. So here we have the Senshi figure next to the actual Budo figure. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I give Bobby Vala, or even Action Force, Valverse, whatever, I give him credit for coming out with the figure first, but I have to give it to the GIJOE team that they actually they what do you call it? They did a fatality on the Senshi figure. I mean, you can tell it has a lot of Budo reference in the helmet, and of course like the vest and all that. There's a lot of actually similarities. Holy crap. But you can see that the GIJOE team really just upped a notch, and they're like, so Delpho says this is the NIGHTFORCE Ops. Okay, I thought this was the original, but whatever. It's kind of in the same category. Even if the colors are wrong, but whatever. Yeah, because it does say the Big Bad Toy Store exclusive one. Let me see if I can get the other one, actually. My bad. Senshi, somebody just asked who is Senshi. Senshi was part of the Valaverse wave. So oh, damn it, where did it go? Whoops. Series 5 again. Senshi. Okay, I think this is the original one. All right, give me a second. My bad. Okay, yeah, that was the Night Ops. Or in Action Force, it's, you know, Night Ops, not Night Force. But that's okay. Down, where am I going? Okay. There we go. This is the original version. So yeah, not too much difference, just obviously that was more muted color schemes, but good, now we're back on track. Sorry about that. Zoran's got jokes, man. Sorry, this is what happens when you do things last minute. But let's see here. I'm catching up with the chat. I'm not much into ninja martial arts characters except for the obvious that Budo does look interesting. I may get him down the line. Yeah, I mean, some point for sure. I collect Sabotage has good figure stands. They do have good stands. That's for, at least, you know, the figures do come with stands, so that's good. Bobby did a good job on his, but yeah, I mean, Hasbro, like I said before, the Senshi figure is fine, and it's good for what it is. It's just that the Hasbro team just they destroyed it. Because it does come with all those similar like samurai-esque masks and all that stuff. So if I just shrink this down to size real quick, you can see that the Budo figure does have all those similar samurai mouthpiece, like what we see right there on the sides and stuff. That's probably better. But yeah, very sad though. Honestly, but like I always say in general, that you can really mix and match and just kind of add a lot more figures into your G.I. Joe team. It doesn't even matter if you're Team Hasbro or Team Action Force or Valiverse. You can still add Senshi into your Budo lineup, because again, Budo has enough accessories for you to freaking army build like 4 or 5 of these, and then Senshi you can definitely have like 2 to 3 different versions of that one. So honestly, it's not like it's hard to or I should say it's easy to kind of add more into it. Sabotage does make a good point that he's all stripped down, so it's hard to compare. That is true, but even if you just look at the accessories and what he comes with and just kind of visualize it to some extent, you can kind of get an idea of how each figure is kind of represented in it. But yeah, so that is Budo and Senshi, and yeah, cool, but it is what it is. But congrats to those who got it and was able to get it. Solar Center says, on Senshi, I can't get over that his shoulder armor and high holster armor looks upside down. Oh, I see. Because you want like the black parts more on the upper side of the shoulders rather than the bottom half. I see what you're saying. But yeah, so that is Senshi and Budo. Pretty cool, but that's pretty much it with that. Okay, so not really last but not least, but one of the cool things we're going to talk about tonight, I do have a SHARKNEWZ video coming out tomorrow talking about this, so it's still early to kind of make super duper guesses, but let's talk about the HASLAB Tease, which is the terminology chill, and if you look at their official social posts, they also say it's a cool one. So I didn't put the word cool, but I find it very interesting that the G.I. Joe team is heading, if they are, this could be a complete turn of events if it has nothing to do with an Arctic vehicle, but I find it very cool, no pun intended, that they're heading into the Arctic territory for a vehicle when there's still other vehicles and characters to go over. And a lot of people are saying it's going to be the Snowcat, but here's where it's going to get very, very interesting. Again, the point of the HASLAB, so if you watch tomorrow's SHARKNEWZ video, I talk about all the snow characters that are involved and that could be involved, so I didn't include it on this stream. But the point of the HASLAB is for them to create a one super duper deep cut that could not be found like anywhere in store or like used as a re-release, kind of like how Glenda is. And then it has to be it can't be characters that are going to be so popular that they put behind a HASLAB paywall. So I know a lot of people are saying they want Iceberg to be as one of the tiers, but Iceberg for me should not be a tier, just because Iceberg is a really awesome character and it's a character that a lot of collectors would want. So to put Iceberg behind a HASLAB tier is it's a possibility, but it's a very bad idea, because the reason I say this is because not everyone will be getting a HasLab. Not everyone wants to spend that much money on figures that they really want, and the point of the HasLab is to have options. Of course, if you want the vehicles, you know, the figures will come with it, but if someone just wants an iceberg but they don't want to spend, like, so let's say $300 just to get iceberg with the vehicle and, you know, due to space or other things like that, that's where all that confusion and stress comes in for collectors. So my best bet, like Will Newman says, I think he nailed the coffin on that one. I have a really good feeling that they're going to add Quinn as one of the tiers. Quinn is going to be the Glenda version of the deep cut, like how we have the Mickey Mouse logoed Cobra Commander. And then we have, because the Dragonfly gave us the 2 NIGHTFORCE characters, but we had Glenda. And then the Rattler gave us that Baroness, which was whatever to me, and then the Gunner, which is whatever. But the other option, which I think is going to be a slap to collector's face, it could be a re-release of a previous G.I. Joe character, but if you watch the original cartoon, you will see that they all have like those brown winter coats with the fur on the collar and stuff like that. So it's possible that they could release the character, like another character that we have already had, but in a brown jacket, like a snow jacket. So Quinn could easily be a deep cut character, which I think is going to be my best bet. Another re-release of a Joe character, because if they could already give Baroness in a flight suit for the Rattler, then they could easily give us, like, I don't know, Lady J in a brown jacket, like fur jacket or something, you know. What does Flaming Crow say? The original Hiss wasn't that big and they pulled it off. Okay, Snow Job will finally have some buddies. That's true. Yep. But as for other characters, I think so I'm gonna rule out Iceberg. I'm gonna rule out Cold. I mean, you'll have characters like Cold Front, Wind Chill, and Sub-Zero. Then you have the Battle Force 2000 Avalanche, and then you have Stalker. No, was it Stalker? One of the Joe characters that has the yellow. I think that was Stalker version, whatever the version was. He has like a white outfit with a yellow ski mask. So you have that version. Copy Joe Toys, welcome to the chat, says Blizzard. Yeah, there is Blizzard too. So characters like Sub-Zero, Wind Chilled, maybe Blizzard, maybe Cold Front, something like that could be good characters to come as a tiers rather than having Iceberg in there. But and then you could also have a super duper character that's going to piss people off, or you can have like the blind woodsman that saved Snake Eyes with his sled and wolves or dogs or whatever that were. They can unnecessarily put him in there. Who knows? But the thing that I find very fascinating with this being an Arctic vehicle, if it so happens to be the Snowcat, as a lot of you mentioned already, we already have, you know, Snow Job, but there's not that many characters. Oh, there's even Whiteout too. Whiteout was like a re-release of Snow Job, just a different name, but they could create a new character that way. You could have, there's only one character, Snow Job. So in order for them to make the HasLab, let's say Snowcat, be worth it, they would really have to amp up the Arctic characters, because again, there's not that many, but the ones that I list are roughly the main hard hitters. And then again, you have characters like Quinn, you have characters like the Blind Woodsman, I'm just thinking of random snow people, and then you have a re-release of a Joe character wearing a jacket. And then maybe they could create some Arctic troopers, because if you guys remember Bobby Valaverse, he already created Arctic troopers that are like in the Steel Corps style. So maybe the G.I. Joe team will probably create Arctic troop builders. We don't know. It could very much well be like how we have the Rattler gunner figure. So that could easily be something new and exciting. Let me see what the chat is saying. Also, Couch Boy says, just woke up. I want Snake Eyes in the white snow gear from the movie. That Snake Eyes was great. Shout out to Couch Boy. Welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for joining. Tier. Oh, they're 1 and 3 trading cards. I like to see that October Guard chick in there. I don't know. They can't do anything October Guard related at the moment. I don't think we'll see any October Guards at all at this point. Joshua says cold gear versions of mainstream characters. It's a good idea, but I'm not sure how people would actually want that. But it's not a bad idea, but it's just like, I don't know. I think people just want like new characters rather than already re-released ones, but I could be wrong. Will Newman says we need a Steeler and a Mobat. I mean, they could easily imagine if it's still like the Mauler, the Mobat, but they're throwing everybody off. Like that could be the greatest plot twist of all time. Copy Joe Toy says this might even be a really messed up idea. Snake Eyes with Arctic gear and timber. I mean, that would make it no difference than the Alpha Commando Snake Eyes with timber, other than just giving him a jacket or something. Mr. Madigan says, I don't have Snow Job. He costs too much. Oh, man. Tier 1 is a gumball, says Benedict. Trading cards, says Mr. Sampson. Hope they eventually do the October Guard. That would be awesome. Pop heads on coats. We can all get our figs Arctic. Snow Job needs a re-release. I mean, they could do a retro Snow Job, just minus all the accessories, because if they did the same thing with the Snow Serpent, then I'm sure Snow Job could come back, but not sure. Mr. Madigan says amen to that, but I don't know. This is, again, we still have like 3 weeks, and the thing that makes it very exciting is that they are going to announce this vehicle on at the end of YoJoJune. So we have about 3 weeks left, and maybe they're gonna give us a lot more teases down the line, but at least within the few weeks. But I'm at least happy that in the next 3 weeks we're gonna officially get the reveal for it. So that's what makes it really exciting, because it's not like, oh, we still have like many months away from like Comic-Con or something. Like they're actually going to tell us, I suppose, in the last week of YoJoJune. So that's what makes it more exciting. Welcome Big Rib to the chat, says Shark with the rock sign. Hell yeah, or whatever that's called. Thank you so much for joining, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, so we will come back to the chill, because again, I have a video coming out tomorrow, so you guys can also weigh in your options in the comments of that video, which will be really cool. But like I said before, Iceberg should not be part of a tier as popular as he is. He should easily, or should be, a standalone figure. Like, but they need to really, like I said, the Arctic Troopers, as somebody mentioned it earlier, I don't know how far it went up, but they said they can create, you know, a bunch of brand new Arctic Troopers and characters, which is fine. But the Arctic characters are very niche. You know, it's not like there's a lot like, I don't see, let me give you an example. If it is the Snowcat, unless you live like somewhere up in the mountains here in the States, or maybe Canada or something, you're gonna have to wait until freaking like November for it to snow. You know, so it's like, imagine you're getting your Snowcat in July. Mr. Madgus says, I want a Rattler unboxing. You are absolutely welcome, Nikki. Snowjob, top classified figures for me. I mean, he is pretty cool. But yeah, so we'll come back to the HasLab Tease. I just hope that throughout the year, or probably next year, they give us a lot more snow characters, because it wouldn't make too much sense to give us a snow vehicle and then not build on the snow vehicle, because that would suck if you just have Snowjob and then these, or they could really insult us and one of the tiers they're gonna give us like a ski hat or a ski mask. Like imagine like an actual knitted ski mask for you guys to wear as part of the tier, and the Joe team is wearing these ski masks like on the live stream saying you guys can look really cool. If you order this HasLab, you'll get a completely new Arctic ski mask that like covers like your mouth and stuff like that. That would be pretty funny. But yeah, we'll come back to the HasLab Tease at some point for sure. But based on but you know what Russell is saying, he says watch Emily and Lenny totally reverse everything, and the HasLab is a Mobat. That could really happen. That could really happen. So I agree with Russell. It's a possibility of them switching everything up, and it could, or as Will Newman says, maybe a Thunder Machine, but that's also too small. But people were saying it could have been the Thunder Machine because of the music video from the Dreadnoks, or the Cold Slither, I mean, but who knows. But looking at the updated group list that we have here that I really love doing on my streams and videos, I really love eliminating characters and enjoy adding new characters into the lineup. So if you guys remember from the previous live stream, I had, whatchamacallit, I had the Hawk with the MMS, I had Budo, I had Slice and Dice. So now we've officially eliminated those 4 characters because they just went up for pre-order. And now we are substituting those 4 with Mercer and Sergeant Slaughter. And then we have the police officer from the Legacy series. But we still have the Cold Slither 4-pack. And obviously that's going to be, we're going to eliminate these guys off the list in July, so I can't wait to kind of get rid of these guys. And then the Rattler will be releasing in about 3 weeks, I suppose. So we can eliminate Wild Weasel, the Gunner, and Baroness figure from the right side. Now the cool part is I'm hoping by like next week or the following week after, we could easily include characters like Sci-Fi and Night Viper and Wetsuit, and then this whole list that we see here is going to get even more massive. But by that time we'll already be eliminating the Cold Slither 4-pack and the Rattler figures. But then I will most likely be adding the new HasLab tier figures on this list, which we will be seeing for the next year. So those figures won't be going anywhere, but that would be really fun. Joshua says the clues have been on the nose in the past. Chill, frosty, and cool are snow references. That's very true. Yeah, even when Emily was talking, or they showed the graphic of the HasLab logo, you saw like snowflakes falling. So yeah, I mean, if you want to know some other wintered vehicles, you can check out the previous live stream, one of the previous live streams where I talked about snow Arctic vehicles. But based on this graphic that we see here with all the figures that we have so far, it seems pretty lackluster. However, by next week or the week after, we should have CRANKCASE and the Awestriker go up for pre-order, so we can also eliminate him at some point. So that's going to be good. And then the Retro Bat and the Retro GREENSHIRT Army Builder still available in terms of we haven't heard about pre-order dates yet. And those will be the last 2 retro figures of the year. I think there's still a listing for 1 more retro figure, but the Joe team did say that these are the last 2, so we'll see if they add anything else from there. And you guys better get used to the Mercer and Sergeant Slaughter, because we're going to see these guys for like a while. Unless they go up for pre-order like next week. That would be crazy. Russell says, I might get sci-fi even though I had never had the original O-ring. I mean, the original O-ring figure is fantastic, man. Even though it kind of has like a big head, but it's a cool figure. Nothing mentioned tonight about Lifeline, and wasn't he a name only not too long ago? No, I don't think they mentioned anything about Lifeline just yet. We haven't had any Lifeline references or reveals for that. At least not that I know of. Let's see what else we have here. Couch Boy says Dreadnoks getting attention. It could be a Dreadnought world building set for HASLAB. I think motorcycles with Thunder Machine plus 4 figures, Zartan Mohawk plus 2. I'd buy a Dreadnought set. That, are you saying the Dreadnoks? So I don't think they would like double dip on the Dreadnoks for a HASLAB and Comic-Con set. Maybe somewhere down the line, that's probably not a bad idea. But if you already have a Cold Slither 4-pack and then you would release a Dreadnoks building set as a HASLAB, like with the motorcycles and all that stuff, that would probably be a little too much Dreadnought love right there. Mr. Sampson says Scoop. I cannot wait till they release Scoop. that would be a great one. Scoop is such a fantastic figure. Scoop is one of the best G.I. Joes to ever exist in the line. We cannot argue with Scoop. Gotta love the Scoop. It's like a Seinfeld reference where they're like, you gotta love the Drake. Love the Drake. Gotta love the Drake. Sabotage says, I'm really excited about the defense post. That's OG Joe to those mini playsets, and that's a great direction to run. Yeah, I would have explained it a lot better. I can picture the post in my head. I know exactly what it looks like. It's just hard for me to describe it. But hopefully next stream I'll probably throw it in there. Mr. Madga says, how many people got the hands on Dial Tone? That just seems like a ripoff. As I mentioned before, Dial Tone has either... So I've seen some people get Dial Tone at GameStop. He somehow made it. But not every state had it, and then a lot of other YouTubers who did a review on Dial Tone either paid a lot of extra money or had international hookups for it. Some people found Dial Tone at Walmart with Saw Viper and Leatherneck, but that just varies on which Walmart location compared to other states. Like, I already know here in the East Coast, I already gave up looking for figures. I'm not going to find anything at this point. My Target has been dry. My Walmart's been dry. It's just absolutely useless to toy hunt for any figures at the moment. But Robert Wantlin says, I've had my Dial Tone for 2 months. Ralph Vader Guy, welcome to the chat, says, hey Sharkites, nice name, says, I have Dial Tone from pre-order from Amazon. I'm sure he'll come at some point. I mean, obviously we're all waiting for it, because even Trench, Viper, and Heavy Duty have been hitting the same situation. But Sabotage says he's getting Heavy Duty this month, I believe. So I think it's just one of those things where they're probably lost somewhere on some port, and then at some point in time, all the pre-orders and all the figures are just gonna be stacked up and piled out of nowhere. And that's something we probably have to expect this month, because we have, a lot of people don't have Saw Viper or Dial Tone or Leatherneck or whatever the other figure was, and then we still have the Rattler figures coming out, and then I don't remember what else. Whatever whatever figures people pre-ordered for during whatever that was. That what was it? GI Joe Day back in February. Solo Sinner says they're not that difficult to get here in Canada and Toronto. Oh shoot. Title Manishare says I got Dial Tone and Heavy Duty from Canada. Okay, so for those that want connections and hookups in Canada, I mean, these are your best bets right now. A Romo, welcome to the chat, says I'm driving home, I'm listening to homie. Man, I don't know how I sound like on the freaking in a car. Hopefully the audio is fine. Russell Terrell says I'm really waiting for the unboxing video of the Rattler. Just toss the patches to the side. Yeah, like as I mentioned earlier in the stream, I'm really curious to see how they're gonna market those patches, because again, they're gonna open that Rattler box and see the patches, and God knows how they're gonna build so much excitement for it. Ralph Vader guy says Striker is going to be cool and definitely getting the AMS Tobel. Yep. Hopefully the price shouldn't be that bad. Oh shit, and then there's also the pre-orders for the what's her name? The Cobra Claw and then the Snake Armor. So that was a lot of pre-orders that we had so far in the past like 4 months, kind of a little bit back to back. And now we're in Yojo June, so we're gonna have like pre-orders like almost every week now. Jay Gustafson says Mr. Freeze over. Will Newman says patches are boring. Yeah, I mean, man, I remember on the previous SharkNewZ channel, we've all went crazy on those patches, man. That shit was so funny. That was such a great time. All right, so other than that, that pretty much concludes tonight's stream with week 1 of Yojo June. I will have a SharkNewZ video tomorrow, and then I'll have another video out on Sunday. I'm going to be posting a lot of videos, so I hope you guys enjoy those videos in the meantime. I will be going live again next week. I don't know what time or what day, it just depends on schedule. Expect more SharkNewZ videos after the next Yojo June fan stream event, which I'll definitely talk about, new reveals and pre-orders and all that good stuff. So that should be really exciting. Nerd Alert says he's driving too. Need 3 Yojo reviews. Welcome to the chat. Says need 3 tiers of patches for this one. I know he's trolling. Keep my patches 20-30 years from now. Yeah, we are all patched out, man. We definitely shitted on those patches so much last year. That shit was so funny. Russell Terrell says, so the weekly Yojo June streams on Tuesdays. They usually do it on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Usually it's Tuesdays, but last time they did it on Wednesday, so I'm assuming it's either Tuesday or Wednesday at most. They never do it Monday, and Thursdays are usually too far, but it's usually Tuesday or Wednesday for sure. But yeah, other than that, I want to thank you guys all for watching tonight's stream. Again, this is just the tipping of the iceberg, no pun intended, as we have all month long of Yojo June, and there's going to be live streams every week from SharkNewZ live, and of course more reveals and render reveals, and this was kind of treading very lightly. Wasn't too much to talk about, but I think we did pretty good for tonight's stream. Again, I can't wait for Wetsuit, Night Viper, and Sci-Fi, but until then, that shit's gonna be crazy. Otherwise, Will Newman says great stream. Derek says stream next Wednesday. Flaming Crow says thanks for all you do. Thank you for watching the stream, Flaming Crow. I appreciate it, man, and thank you for being a great supporter of the channel. Mr. Madgus says good show, brother. Shark blessing to everyone. Yep, and happy birthday to Mr. Madgus. Hope you have a great birthday. BD Bonzi, man, welcome to the chat. Says good night, Shark. Good night, Russell Terrell. Everybody have a great night. Hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much, Solo Sinner, for the stream donations. I will be purchasing the 2-pack like you wanted me to do right after the stream is over, so thank you so much, Solo Sinner. That 2-pack will be dedicated to you when I review it on the Retro Shark channel, whenever the hell that releases. But thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. I will see you guys all next week. Stay tuned for more Shark News videos, and enjoy collecting and hunting and all that good stuff, and hug your loved ones, because that is so damn important. Yes, I'm definitely gonna go get my slice and dice. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight, and I'll see you guys all next week. And have Russell says, and show us you ordered it. Okay, I'll show you the receipt next live stream. Okay, I'll see you guys all in the next stream. Till then, I will see you all then. And once again, thank you, Solo Sinner. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you to everyone who was watching but wasn't in the chat. And once again, happy birthday to Mr. Madgus. And I'll see you guys all